to another edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ron, your host. Now, before we go on the review, you're probably wondering, what am I wearing now? Well, I got a new hat. Check this out. Universal Studios. Yes, I got another hat, so I'm going to keep switching back and forth on hats for each review. But I wanted to show this off, and you'll see the other one back in another video soon. So I kind of want to clarify to let you know I got another hat. So, yeah, that's that. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at our next review for tonight, the next movie I watched tonight. And I just got finished with this a couple hours ago. Now, we're going to dive right back into the 1960s as we take a look at a film which stars Richard Widmark, Henry Fonda, and Ingrid Stevens, 1968's Madigan. Yeah, 1968's Madigan. Yeah, so I wanted to dive into the Henry Fonda film. Now, I did cover a previous film I covered a couple videos, I think last year, was On Golden Pond. His final movie for the studio and his final movie in the career. But I was taking a look at the first film with this actor, Richard Widmark. Now, he would go on to make one more movie for the studio, 1977's Roller Coaster. But anyways, so I wanted to kind of talk about Madigan because I'm really intrigued with this film. So in addition to them, you also get Harry Garganin and the great James Whitmore. Yes, the guy from Shawshank Redemption. And honestly, he looks about the same as he did in Shawshank Redemption. But this also has Susan Clark and Michael Dunn and Don Strutt. Now, let's talk about Madigan because this is actually really good. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the film and I'm going to kind of, bear with me. I'm sorry, I should have had this done previous, but anyways. Yeah, that's better. Anyways, let's talk about Madigan. So, the films focus on Richard Widmark. He plays Dan Madigan, who's this cop who basically, he's sort of this tough cop, this rookie cop. Then we're introduced to Henry Fonda, who plays Tony. He's the commissioner of the state, I believe New York City. This movie was also directed by Don Siegel. Also at the time this was also made, he would work on another film that came out the same year, Clint Eastwood's Coogan's Bluff. And this movie has a very Coogan's Bluff, which I do own that movie though. But basically, he's a sort of tough cop, but basically, he's an up-and-coming cop. So basically, it plays more like a detective story. So he's married, Ingrid Stevens plays his wife, and she's like, she knows, she worries about this man. She loves this man for all that she does care. Then we're introduced to, like I said, Henry Fonda, who's married to Susan Clark, who is the other woman that follows into this. Then we got another cop named Rocky. I do believe he's played by, Harry Garnino. I think that's how he pronounces his name. I'm butchering last name. So, he's sort of like the the tough gun nut. Trigger happy, like, aggressiveness to what a cop really is. And it's really good. It's really well made. The opening credit is really good. This is one of the first times instead of Universal Pictures Presents, we just get Universal Presents. Now that title has been done before in a few of Alfred Hitchcock's later films. They would have the Universal Presents. So, yeah, basically, trying to think what else that I remember. So, mid for the film, we're introduced to Michael Dunn. He's basically sort of the whistleblower. So the cops go and meet him, and they're like, I want to meet this short guy. I hate using the word midget, but he wants to meet this short guy, and Madigan wants to know more clues into it. So they don't really interrogate the guy. They ask the guy questions to finding clues out. He's played by the late Michael Dunn. But yeah, he's sort of like, he's like try not to tell. So the guy at the subway says, I want you to meet him, and you might get your clues there. You might get your clues, Commissioner. So basically that and the sort of shenanigans. So basically they go meet him later for the film. They go to meet him once again to get him clues. So if I can show you right here, I'll show you an image on the back of it though. So the scene right there that I'm talking about, basically the cops meet up with Michael Dunn's character, and they go and ask him and investigate it. It's kind of hard to really explain. You really have to just watch this movie. But I will tell you, right then and there, keeps you glued to the TV till the very end. It has some really good action scenes, great cinematography. I'm on the Kino Lorber website, and it's giving me the description of what I'm thinking. Yeah, New York City is where it is. I had to look at the Kino Lorber. Yeah, they're New York top cops. So Don Strad, who plays the guys at the movie theater, the cops go in wondering. They interrupt the movie. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" They throw him in there and They interrogate him to make him talk. So Rocky just like smacks his hand like that. He's like, "Ow!" So Mangan is offering him a cigarette to get him to talk. If you don't talk, I will get Rocky out there. He's like, no, wait, I'll talk. So he panics and tells him to basically, he has to talk, basically interrogate him. So he has to talk and, to get information. So, the beginning of the film, we're introduced. There is a nude scene, just a smidgen of it. There's a woman naked though, but it's very unnoticeable though. Basically, you see the side of the woman naked, but that's really about it. It's basically a blink and you won't miss it kind of thing. So they go after the guy. The woman's in bed, she's hiding, so you can see like the side of her body, and she's still hiding. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. But that's at the very beginning. Again, it's a blink and you won't notice kind of thing. So, if I snap my fingers, you won't miss it. But anyways, so, really well made. Raymond St. Jacques, who I did cover in They Live, the John Carpenter film, he plays Dr. Tyler, another cop that says... Not another cop, but he's a doctor. So he goes up to Henry Fonda's Tony and says, I want you to bring these people to justice. So he gives the commissioner some good luck. The cinematography is great, though I didn't even know that it was shot in CinemaScope. I forgot to mention that. The movie was shot entirely in CinemaScope, so it's really, really well made. A little history about it really quick. CinemaScope is where they shoot in the 2 by 20 or 235 by 1, that kind of thing. Yeah, 235 by 1. Another movie that uses that is Lady and the Tramp, which is also shot in CinemaScope. So that's really, a lot of the old Fox musicals and Lady and the Tramp and this were shot in CinemaScope. And the cinematography is done by Russell Maddie, who also did cinematography for Touch of Evil, another movie I covered on the channel. So, that's a lot to say about the film, but I love Mangan. Margin was what I thought the title was, but it's Mangan. I love these 1960s Universal movies. Though we get the famous The End, a Universal picture. The ending is very, very heartbreaking. I mean, there's been times I was left there stone-faced. I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but it's very heartbreaking. Without trying to spoil it, the wife, I'm not going to give away the end. You just have to watch it for yourself. But basically, essentially I'll put it this way. She gets pissed at Tony, which is Fonda's character. Really, and then he's sitting there like, taking it like a man. Basically, she tells him how the bear shot in the woods. Basically about that. So, It ends in a downer. Essentially, nobody wins. But the movie is shot beautifully. There's a scene where Mangan goes to Coney Island, and you can see like the Ferris wheels, I believe, Coney Island. And like that scene, that's where they go meet Michael Dunn is in an area in Coney Island to ask some questions. So I think about what I said about this movie. So let's get some negatives out of the way. Is there any negatives in this film? And I'd probably easily say it's a little too long. The first half is a little slow, but it picks up right then. Once it's like 5 seconds slow, and then it picks up right where the action is. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that film. Honestly, there really isn't any flaws with this film. I think this movie is a masterpiece. This is one of the few films from director Don Siegel that I think is really good. Though he's credited as Donald Siegel in the credits, but the back of the DVD says Don Siegel. So yeah, let's take a look at the artwork. Honestly, I could take or leave with this artwork. It just, I don't know. I found this at my grandmother's thrift shop. Yeah, my grandmother works at a thrift shop. So I found this movie there, and I thought, oh, well, I saw that thinking, this has got to be Universal. Oh, it is Universal. So I had to check it out. This was pretty obscure. I'm sure not a lot of people know about it. I didn't know this movie even existed. So yeah, really, really cool. But I guess I'll show you all that's inside, though. But I want to show you Susan Clark. I mean, there is one beautiful woman right there. Oh, man. There is one gorgeous woman. I love these, like, leading ladies in, like, these classic movies. But, yeah, the scene I think I showed you, really good stuff. Cinematography, like I said again, is actually, from what I've read, is actually the screenplay was done by the person who made, a couple of them were Abraham Pronsky and Howard Rodman, who worked on the Universal television series $6 Million Man. That would be Howard Rodman. So yeah, I think I said everything about this. So final verdict: should you see Mangan? Yes, I'd easily say highly recommend Mangan. This movie is really good. It wasn't boring. The action was just right. The pacing was solid, even though I thought the first half was a little bit dull. I thought this was going to be another boring, generic, talking movie where they're just going to talk and ask questions. No, the action picks up really good, and I can definitely highly recommend Mangan. I think this is one of the best movies I watch. I'm not sure, like I said, this might be on the top 30 list. I don't know, but we'll see where we go to that. So yeah, so that's all I'm going to say about Mangan. Yeah, go watch Mangan. Check out the movie. It's actually worth watching. There is a Kino Blu-ray, but actually, to be honest, this is not anamorphic widescreen. So if you want anamorphic widescreen, you're going to have to get that Kino Blu-ray. Though I do have this on DVD, and I'm happy with what I have. And this movie is going to be in my Universal shelf. I can totally recommend Mangan. It was definitely worth watching. I had a fun time with Mangan. A very enjoyable movie. And I would easily say, out of all the 60s Universal films, this is probably the second one. The second movie I like from the studio in the 1960s. I have a few other ones I'm going to cover on the channel, so you're going to have to tune in eventually. So that's my review of Mangan. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check all my socials out. Like, check out, I don't know, just like, comment, subscribe, check all the socials, I guess. And yeah, that's all I'm going to have to say. So, as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.